I'm Rachel Elder, and this is day 22 out of 30 behind the scenes with Connected Couples Counseling. So, this week has just been like a weird, not weird, but it's about catching up. As you've watched the other videos before this, I was on vacation for about 10 days. And so, there are just a lot of little things to get back into the rhythm with. So, lots of coordinating with clients, scheduling wise. And a lot of prepping for quarter three and quarter four. Our family will have a change in scheduling, which is my schedule again, as my little one goes to kindergarten. So we got new school hours and pick up and drop off parents. So I'm actually going to write a reminder. I need to review dates that she doesn't have school, kindergarten schedule. See, I have to do this because I will forget if I don't do it right now. I have to review some dates that she has off school, so my calendar is up to date. I actually need to book some travel for a training slash retreat with the team I work on that's happening in October, and coordinate with my family because I'm going to try to sneak off and spend a few days with my mom and dad and maybe my siblings if they're available and my bestie in Indy. And then today I got the opportunity to be a guest on a podcast with a local health practitioner in the city I live in. And so I'm really excited for that. I think podcasts are so fun because I'm a wing it person. I might like think through what I want to say, but I just love a natural dialogue, and podcasting has always felt that way for me. Everybody I've done a podcast as a guest with is always just very organic and natural, and it's just super fun. So I'm really looking forward to that. I've got some client sessions, and then I have date night with my husband. But a lot of the stuff that I'm attending to do is kind of admin, making sure my schedule's up to date. I'm actually doing some prep for our clinical intern for the end of her internship. It's in December, but believe it or not, we need to start prepping and coordinating now because we need to kind of pick a date for her to stop taking on new clients so that clients are aware that she's wrapping up in December. We're having conversations about what her next steps are going to look like. Does she want to pursue licensure? Is she going to pursue something different? Does she want to keep working alongside the team? Lots of options, lots of things for her to consider. But on my end, I need to set that date that we're going to stop accepting new clients for her. And then we have to start making a plan for her clients. If you've ever worked with a clinical intern, or if you don't even know what that means, a lot of therapists are watching this, so you know what it means. But if you happen to not be a therapist, part of getting into being a therapist, you got to get your bachelor's, then you got to get your master's. You can get a PhD if you want to go that doctorate route, but you don't have to. But you got to get your master's. And during your master's program, you have a clinical internship period of time. Every program's a little bit different, but for Megan on our team this year, it's been a year. She started in January and she wraps up in December. And so we have that kind of year time frame to help her get her clinical hours. Her clinical hours include direct service, so that's one-to-one client sessions. It includes supervision, so she gets weekly supervision with me, as well as supervision with one of her professors. It includes indirect hours. Her program's a little bit different. That it doesn't necessarily count, but some programs have a certain amount of indirect hours, which are trainings, doing notes, kind of the back end of a business. And so, what we're focusing on over the next 2 quarters that she has left is making sure we're tracking and getting the hours she needs. So, we're on track currently, but there's always that like a little bit of anxiety underneath the surface of like, are we going to get it? What if something happens? Right now, I think we're on track. We're doing good. We've met the quarter goals way before the quarter ends, so I'm feeling pretty good. But because December will be here before we know it, I know it's July, it's still a few months away, but it will be here quickly. We just have to start creating a plan for her clients. One thing that I do is that, well, and a lot of practices do, but I know some other practices handle it differently. My belief is that clients have full autonomy and that their relationship is with each clinician on the team. So, if anybody on the team who's working with connected couples counseling wanted to go off on their own, wanted to leave, go to another setting, my belief is if your clients want to follow you, amazing. Um, I- they have a relationship with you, and it's better for them to continue that clinical work. In a business mindset, that's not always ideal or feels the best because that is an income that's disappearing that you've been consistently relying on or leaning on. But my belief is we want to do the best care for our clients. And so those are conversations I always have with my team members of they have relationships with you. They're welcome to stay with the practice if they don't want to transfer with you or go somewhere else. But no matter what, there's going to be some kind of transition of care, whether it's to a different clinician or therapist, to a different practice if they're following the therapist. And so those are the conversations that I'm starting to explore with Megan of what do you want to do when graduation hits? What do you think is going to be the best steps for you? There's lots of different paths for you to consider, and I want you to choose the one that's best for you. But we do need to be thinking about how we're going to care for your clients in that transition. I worked in an agency for the first few years of my career. I started my internship there and then worked there for 2 more years after that, I think. And one thing that was really hard is the turnover of clients with their therapists. And I heard that often, like, you're my fourth, fifth, seventh therapist, and it impacts them building relationship and trust. And so I take that experience because I held so many of those stories. And I really am intentional when I'm thinking about client care and transitions. I always want what's best for the client. I want to empower them. I want them to have autonomy. And sometimes the transition of care is because the clinician is moving in a different direction with their practice or their work, their niche. I've done that before. A lot of my transition of care has been my schedule as I've gone from an infant to a toddler to now a kindergartner. My schedule's just constantly changing, and I'm always giving my clients lots of heads up, lots of notice of, hey, I just want to loop you in. This change is coming. This is what I need to do to support my family, my life, and I realize that impacts you. So let's have a conversation. Let's talk about what's going to be best next steps. Most people are incredibly understanding, and I've had to transition clients because they couldn't work within the schedule I have. So that's a focus I have with Megan. So I'm starting to like pinpoint those dates on the calendar. I guess what I'm really doing, this is a long-winded way of like, I'm just mapping out dates for quarter 3 and quarter 4 today and really making sure like we are aware. We have 2 more weeks until we got to cut off taking new clients. Or as we take on new clients, we need to make it clear that it's short-term therapy for right now because Megan will be graduating. And Megan knows she's got till the end of August to kind of let me know what her game plan is so we can really have a good plan and good care. Okay, so that's behind the scenes of what it's like to have a clinical intern. This is our first year having one. It's been amazing. It was very anxiety inducing in the beginning because I'm responsible for helping someone get hours. And it's been a really great process. I'm so glad that we did it, and Megan's been wonderful. The whole experience has been really wonderful for me. And I'm considering another intern next year or in the fall. I'm very intentional and selective of who I bring on because how we work is really important, and we are a team and we want to mesh really well and support one another. So I don't just take anybody. I take people with a passion and specialty wanting to work with couples. That is our main work. And if they don't have that background, they don't have that interest, it's just not a good fit. All right, I'm going to wrap up now. So I'll see you tomorrow.